Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I was pretty nervous at first, but okay, I'm getting gassed up, so that's kind of negating
Yes.
it a bit.
Now,
Oh,
now
this
we're
is just
recording,
gonna
so
be this
shut
is
up for a
just gonna
minute.
be 15 minutes of you gassing me up. Okay, so
Yes.
wow, great. That's gonna help.
You know we never check the price tag, be it the bills, tax, fraud, or the body bags. To buy some cane, to buy a chain and some expensive rags. I'm hoping mine will end up in a high-end fashion mag. We breaking bad, breaking into trying to be the Mac. Some Walter White.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Discourse, the only podcast in the D.C. metro area. My name is Ian.
And I'm Chad Smith, the guy that can't stop talking about Tidewater. Don't know what that means, but
Yeah, well, okay. I was about to ask what that was, so...
I'm not going to let you
Yeah.
have that chance. So today we're joined by a very prolific person from
Yeah,
the internet, let's say.
prolific.
a member of the interwebs. A fellow shitposter, if you will.
Man, my brain is so warped that I don't view myself as prolific enough.
I mean, that's, I think, underselling yourself.
But this is Alex, everybody. Say hi, Alex.
Hello. You know, I just have a very warped understanding of reality, I guess.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
like, fuck, I don't put out enough, man.
Oh, man,
That's
don't
me.
we all?
Yeah, I think I've made at least an estimate of like 60 digital works on my app in the past 2 months, and then like 10 rhyming sonnets. I'm like, fuck, this still is not enough. I'm just like,
Yeah.
along with the internet stuff I've been doing, it's just, that's my brain for you.
So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your shitposting history, sir.
Oh God. I just like went off. I just kind of got, I don't know, I just out of like shyness just kind of like gave up on trying to be a social media personality like 6 years ago. You know, I don't know, it's almost like there was some kind of sea change in all that time, or maybe I just got better. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was kind of annoying. Now it
I can understand
feels
that.
like
I feel that way too about myself.
God, it's like I don't know what happened, what cultural shift happened in the past 6 years. Cause I feel like everybody kind of hated me like back in the early 2010s. Now it's like I don't know. It's so weird.
And now they all want you on their podcast.
Well, yeah, I was completely. They do all of them.
Yeah, all of them.
Yes,
That's
all
right.
of them. They all have podcasts, and they all
the
want you on them.
podcasts. No, all the podcasts.
Joe Rogan's gonna get you on his cast and be
Oh
like,
God, no.
This is the beginning of the snowball.
Fuck, no. Well, I don't know. Actually, I do want to go on Joe Rogan, but I want to make him regret he was ever born. Like,
yes.
I could
Good.
eviscerate that fuck, man. God damn, that's my dream, pretty much. Just my big one, my pet. I hate watch Joe Rogan all the time. Well, I hate watch everything. I'm a serial hate watcher. I mean, I hate watch like Joe Rogan, Bill Maher. Like I just hate watch so much.
I can't
crap.
hate watch Bill Maher anymore. I used to genuinely watch Bill Maher back in the early days of his show, and it used to be like halfway decent. And then he just,
God!
grew into
Oh
such
my
a shittier
God!
dude over
He's
time.
fucking horrible.
Yeah,
He is
I've always
horrible.
hated the
Holy shit!
motherfucker.
he just became
I-
more and more of an asshole.
God, well, he's always been an asshole.
True, it just
Like-
shone through more in time.
Yeah.
He's
No,
always like,
I don't know. I think I just became more conscious of it because I'll watch clips from like 2005 and it's like, holy fuck. And I'll watch
That's
clips
probably
from
fair.
like, then I'll watch clips from like politically incorrect and like, oh my God, holy fuck. You know,
Yeah.
the one, and then the one thing that pissed everyone off was like the relative, like kind of, I mean, the thing about September 11th where he said like, it was more courageous to drive a plane into the towers than it was to to launch a cruise missile from miles away. I mean, maybe he was obviously he was a fucking dick for saying that, like, the month it happened. But I mean,
Yeah.
you know, like, compared to, like, everything else he said, I mean, like every week, you know?
I mean, that's just some
God,
shit that like your problematic friend would say when you're both at work talking about it the next day, and you're like, well, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess he has more balls than anybody that could, press a button and send a missile.
I mean,
But like, that's not a thing you want to broadcast on your network TV show, you know?
I would not say that if I had a national TV audience of millions of people.
Yeah.
Like, compared to, like, everything else he says on his show, it's, like, pretty, I wouldn't say mild, but God damn it, like, why hasn't he been canceled yet? I don't know.
I don't know.
God, it's like the, because, I mean, yeah, I always hear whisperings about the Playboy Mansion stuff, but...
Oh, did he? Wait, hold on. Did he?
Creepy Playboy Mansion, yeah. Because,
Really?
apparently...
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, apparently when he was, like, doing, like, bits about Trump being a creep, like, Jenna Jameson, who is a Trump supporter to be... So maybe, I don't know, I don't really think this is a reason to believe they're lying, but they're a Trump supporter, and they said, oh, Bill Maher, well, I've seen you at the Playboy Mansion, and you're in no position to talk about Trump.
Do you think that's credible?
God,
He's a creep.
I
He definitely comes across as a creep.
I don't really see any reason not to. It's like,
I mean,
it's like, yeah, I'm not saying she's not a piece of crap, obviously, if she's a Trump supporter, but I don't really see any reason not to believe it's true, because it's pretty consistent. And I mean, that's not the only thing I've heard about him being, I mean, seems like pretty well known that he's like a creep at the Playboy Mansion, but God, I just hate follow everything. That's how I came into this. I'm in a Woody Allen group.
That shit is crazy, man. I see some of the stuff that you like. There was this one post that you did recently that was like, my sister told me to that all of you people belong on a list, but I think you belong on a list of heroes. And then somebody comes in and is like, you're so right. A list of people who are like ethical and true.
Oh my God, those people are so dumb. Holy shit. It's so easy to one up them. All you gotta do is like appeal to their egos, and then that's the Achilles heel. And it's like it's like, when you pull Goku's monkey tail, it weakens him. That's like what it does to some of these people. You just gotta I mean with any of these, like, with most of these people, you just gotta like gas them up with compliments, and then all of a sudden that's when you go in.
And then they show themselves. And this harkens back to something that we actually talked about in, I think, our Zeroth episode of this podcast. If you just present yourself in a I guess charitable way, to where you're kind of like
so
digging into
this is my method that I've been doing like the past so instead of just going in and straight up saying inflammatory things, so so the post will stay in the group longer, I'll pretend like I'm like trying to commiserate with them. So I just came up with this method where I'll be like, well, I don't think I came up with it, because I've seen, like, okay, I fucking hate Borat, but I mean, he does the same thing where he's like, oh, my brother, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I'll do that. I'll go into the groups. I hate Borat, by the way. But I'll go into the groups.
I love such a band called.
Like, but I'll go into the groups, and I'll just be like, yeah, my leftist cousin told. Well, sometimes I'll just be like my liberal leftist cousin, because they don't know the difference. So I'll just say that. Yeah, I'll talk about how my horrible liberal leftist cousin says something horrible, and it's the thing I want to say, but I don't.
That's so like, smart. God, that's so genius.
I was just talking to my liberal leftist cousin, and they said, and I put in the inflammatory thing I want to say. So,
what's this group that you inflame in?
There's a bunch of them.
The Woody Allen one. Oh,
yeah, what's up with the Woody Allen one? Like,
I've done two. I got banned from one of them. I think it took them a while to figure out that I was like fucking with them, like a concerningly long time, but I don't know specifically when. like I went in 3 weeks after the first time to post something else, and I'd seen that they banned me. So I don't know specifically how long it took them to figure out that I've been that I was fucking with them. I mean, they're pretty dumb. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Boomers. It seems like a lot of these groups are boomers. I've just been exploiting their superiority complex over us. You can like literally say some of the most far-fetched things imaginable about, and they'll think because they just have such a warped understanding of this generation from being propagandized. You could say that by the media. That they'll just think I'm saying it in earnest, you know?
Yeah. That's genius, because I wish that I could sort of like hone that appeal that you have for these people. Like, they see your posts and they take it seriously, and it seems like you have just this uncanny ability to tap into how they think and play to it. And I remember writing this thing on my like notes in my phone like half a year ago, being like, how do I do satire?
This is all news to me, man. This is all fucking news to me.
Really?
I'm just posting this. You know,
I know it's crazy. It's uncanny how good you are at it, because I strive to get people to get into a headspace where they don't know if I'm kidding or if they think I'm being serious, but I think I go too hard, and you just have this amazing ability to do that.
I always wonder if it's like some kind of a red flag of some kind, that like my entire shtick is just me fucking with people's heads publicly.
Well,
like,
that's not your entire
like,
shtick,
man,
though,
you know,
right?
No,
I mean, you do art and
but
stuff.
a large. Oh yeah, of course. And I don't know what people see and what they don't, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I mean, your digital art is honestly inspiring, because I see a lot of the ways that you're like the way that you tap into what I think about when I try to fuck with people, or what I think is funny, is a lot of it is like tapping into ideology and symbols. And one of the recent pieces that you posted, where you were saying, hey, I do commission stuff, which listeners, if you want to get...
Oh, that one. Yeah, I thought that was an insult at first, because, I mean, I'm kind of, like, ambivalent about fish, but I don't know.
What did the post say?
Oh, it was a... Oh, go ahead. I'll let you describe
that one. Is that the one where you said I'd improvise on a theme or whatever for...
Oh, no, I was talking about the... you're the fish of digital art. Because you're willing to just like improv some fucking digital art. It's so good.
I'm not as I don't think of myself as an improviser. I guess I'm a... I don't know what you'd say, because I'm not an improviser, because I'm not... I gotta think and sit down and consider this stuff. But you know, I don't... It's like definitely like I'm not like freestyling this. I gotta sit down and consider it. But I mean, there is definitely some element of improving. Definitely, just free association.
You definitely yes and in the most subvertive way. Like, I know that's like weird, but you really play to people's unspoken ideology and like run with
I do. I have no idea this is all fucking news to me, man. I don't know. I have such I'm not thinking like, wow, I'm going to play to people's... What were you saying? What did you say?
Yeah, unspoken ideologies.
Right now, I'm just going to go into this Woody Allen group and play into people's unspoken ideology. Like,
I know. That's why I respect it so much, because I can tell that it's not contrived. Like, you're not just like thinking this stuff up. It's literally just you being creative and wanting to have fun fucking with people and making fun. Like, I really want to know, because I don't think that you post your poetry enough. Like I said, I've only seen one of your poems. Well,
the thing is, they're all about like really fucking triggering subject matter. They're all have autobiographical themes. Let's see, I can do one I did recently though. I mean, I have about like 28, and they're all pretty like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of one that's not like that's something I can publicly share. Let's see. God, they're all pretty bleak. Let's see. Here's one I can do.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
The ozone layer is replaced by mustard gas. Zemtech cemented Pangea back together. Burning bushes and ventilators toast my ass. Stiffies bulging from row are its pillow's feathers. Netherworld boogaloos thaw the polar ice caps that froze Guantanamo's coiffed in Lucifer's hair. Wormholes are bent into defanged Venus flytraps that pluck medals of honor from Afghan daymares. New Yorks that light years of echoed screams devour. Karma's Iron Maidens grind yin and yang's towers. The debris is crammed in Pandora's dildo case. Fascists waterboard death with the fountain of youth. Ballots fan the rapture in every voting booth. Western civilization is a shart in space. That's it.
That shart in space.
Fantastic.
That makes me want to snap. If you were to do that as slam poetry, you would
Oh God.
you would come in last place, and I would be the one in the back being like, no, what the fuck? All you people need to listen to this. What? You're not getting it. You're not getting it.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
So I'm
God,
starting to see
most
a
of the
clear picture of why Chad wanted you on the cast, because like
Yeah.
that's pretty similar. It's I'm not gonna say it's similar, but it's a similar genre to a lot of the poetry Chad writes, and the pieces are coming together now. I'm starting to see the connections here.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just a big fan. I just,
Wow.
I look at the shit that you write, and I saw.
Yeah,
You posted that. You posted that exact poem that you just read. I'm pretty sure on Facebook.
a couple of weeks ago, I tweaked it a bit since I'm a perfectionist.
Heard, and I respect that a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just God, I don't know. I'm like, well, speaking of perfectionists, I'm not a huge Kubrick fan, but I'm actually not an enormous fan for some reason. I don't know. I'm not as big a fan as I should be, but like there's that, there's a theory that Stanley Kubrick was like killed
Yes.
after making
Oh
Eyes
my
Wide
God.
Shut.
Yes.
For
Yes.
exposing the Illuminati. Like he was 70 fucking years old. It's like a miracle that he didn't fucking die from like, I don't know, a stroke in his like 40s or 50s. Like based on all the shit I read about him. Like how on earth? Like Jesus.
Yeah. That's so true.
Like, I wouldn't be
God.
surprised if he was just like holding on to the will to live until that movie was released.
Oh my
And then
God.
once it was done, he was like, okay, finally I can die.
Yeah. God. Oh.
So we're running out of time for this segment.
Well, I mean, I think those masterclass ads that show up.
Oh yeah, I get them all the time.
I always say that those getting your own masterclass comes free with Illuminati membership.
All right.
That's good. That's good.
All right, so we're going to
So-
move on to the second segment of today's show, and we're going to talk about some stuff in the news. What's been going on recently, Chad?
So yeah, there's been some stuff going on in the news with Iran.
Yeah.
Joe Biden's inheritance from the Trump regime has shown that the policy of maximum pressure is pretty much untenable.
What does untenable mean?
It means that you can't play tennis against it.
No, come on.
Oh.
Untenable.
God.
It means. It just means it's not worth pursuing, right? And for whatever reason, Joe Biden, as much as he has claimed he's different from Trump, he's like all these different things. Yeah, he's not different.
Like,
But
I mean, I was just telling someone how I saw a liberal meme that was like, well, that was gassing up Biden. It was like, well, there are no pictures of Joe Biden with Jeffrey Epstein. If you thought about that, or like, it's like, wow, that is such a high bar. Wow,
I know.
there's no photograph of him with a sex trafficker. Wow, God, this is. Wow, thank you.
Hey.
Well, anyway, I'm gonna get back to the
news.
The news,
Yeah, what's happening in Iran?
So
Yeah.
as we know, the JPCOA has been in the news for a long time since Biden has become president. So today we're looking at Strategic Culture Foundation, which is a Russian think tank that has a lot of baggage that comes with it. But they also publish a journal, and they frequently cover topics related to Iran. So we're looking at...
Sorry to cut you off, but every week we do like to look at a different news source and like a different one each week, and we like to analyze their spin on the week's most prevalent news topic. So today we're looking at, what's the name of the place again?
Strategic Culture Foundation.
All right.
Which is kind of a weird one because we usually do news outlets, but Strategic Culture Foundation is more of a policy analysis sort of initiative. It is Russian, and it has its own journal, but they do cover news a lot. So it's more of an analysis rather than just breaking the news. But Strategic Culture Foundation and its associated journal has been accused of a lot of crazy things by especially the Western and Ukrainian media because, you know, the Strategic Cultural Foundation is one of those examples of right for the wrong reasons, or a clock is right twice a day. Because the Strategic Culture
Never
Foundation...
heard that one.
Yeah, it's a Strategic Culture Foundation.
The clock is right twice a day. Never heard that one.
Oh, a broken clock? Because like the hands are stuck in one spot?
Yeah. Oh, I know that, but twice? Oh,
yeah, 12-hour time? Oh, wait,
Right.
Are you on 24-hour time?
No. Wait.
What did I say?
Oh, no, I've just never heard it. It's always a broken clock is right once a day. Wait, there's a twice a day?
It's twice a day.
I've literally never heard it that. Wow. I don't know. This is just, I don't know. I have just so many alarming blind spots in my, I don't know. That's strange. I don't know. Why?
Well, Strategic Cultural Foundation is right, let's say 5 times a day. Well, let's give them a little bit more credit, even though they are sort of a puppet of Russia, which that's not necessarily a bad thing. Russian propaganda a lot of times is focused on anti-imperialist and alternative geopolitical perspectives, which can be a good thing, but they do also have a lot of the conservatism and sort of like fascist adjacent stuff that you would expect from Russian media. But they get it right a lot. They're an anti-Zionist publication, and they're definitely anti-NATO, which when that lens is applied to Iran and what Iran's doing, I would trust them. And they've been featured in a lot of alt media places that are a little bit more trustworthy and a little bit more left-wing, like Mint Press News, the Duran. So if we look at their entry in WikiSpooks...
The fuck is WikiSpooks?
WikiSpooks is a conspiracy theory Wikipedia for various... It's definitely focused on foreign espionage and psyop type shit. And they usually have a lot of good write-ups, but it's clearly written by kind of people who are off the rocker, left-wing conspiracy theorists, which, again, right for the wrong reasons.
Oh, God. I mean, I was just telling my friend today about, like, how on the you know, how depressingly close sometimes it seems, like when we were just talking about like the theorizing about who assassinated JFK. I mean, I was like, I couldn't decide whether the CIA did it or not. We couldn't come to a conclusion. I just don't know about enough about the inner workings find it. I mean, morally it makes sense, but it's like I just don't like pulling it off. Is where I'm
exactly,
if
and
it's a bit iffy.
a lot of
I was
left
just
wing like
yeah.
conspiracy theorist people take the JFK thing up as their mantle. I mean, Michael Parenti has a multitude of references in his
Um,
writings where he's like, so why are you not listening to this left-wing perspective? And then he'll just drop a JFK truther bomb just like in the midst of like all of his like writings.
All right.
God,
Great
yeah,
guy.
I'm a pretty conspiratorially minded person, but that's the one that I just can't.
Yeah. Didn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, like if the CIA was behind it, like I mean, it makes like I can actually like morally it makes sense for the CIA to do that, but like when they're like doing something like overthrowing like a foreign country, like that makes sense that they could have the entire country like liberal conservative backing them because it's like
Right.
I don't know because they kind of just don't really give a shit about people in other countries. They don't really I mean process that they're human beings, so it's like it can regardless of their political orientation. So, but the president of the
But
United States,
internally, yeah.
like that would be really hard to pull off. It seems like.
Yeah. Well, and I think the line that a lot of conspiracy theorists try to spin is kind of like he was especially left-wing conspiracy theorists, he was kind of trying to bring a international relations position that was against the fold, which we saw with Donald Trump. I mean, it was out there. Anytime Donald Trump, for even how bad he was, he tried to do some things that I think a lot of communists and a lot of like hard left people would probably see as good, withdrawing from certain intractable geopolitical situations. And the United States government and the State Department blocking him, right? So to me, it is kind of understandable why the motivation for JFK to be assassinated, but I also don't understand the logistics.
I do gotta say
The logistics is the only part I struggle with because it's
same.
Okay, if this was like a small group of CIA people that planned this. Like, I mean, again, I wouldn't put it past like the. Then again, I really don't know because I'm not, I'm not a fly in the CIA and FBI building, so there's no way I can know for sure. But it just seems like it would be really hard to pull off. Like that would leak down to somebody.
Somebody would know about it.
Blow the whistle.
And that's evidence that they usually point to that they blew the whistle. Look at this evidence. I mean, I was approached by a guy when I was in Dallas when I was 15, and he was trying to show me this stuff like the government blew the whistle about it. But let's not get too conspiratorial. Let's go back to Strategic Cultural Foundation.
Yeah, we've gone a little off the rails. We've discussed the source of the news, but I have to ask the question again. What happened in Iran?
Yeah, so the JPCOA was an agreement that the West had made with Iran. Basically, telling Iran, if you suspend your nuclear aspirations, which an informed, intelligent person who knows something about the science behind this stuff and what they're actually intending to do is focused on energy. The centrifuges that the U.S. wants Iran to shut down, they claim could be used for weapons. None of the nuclear scientists, 2, 3 of them that have been assassinated either by U.S. or Israeli forces, were ever weaponizing this stuff. They were never trained in that way. They were nuclear scientists that were focused on making energy. So the West's conclusion, or the way that they would allow them to work on their nuclear program for energy but not weapons, is to limit the production of nuclear material and then sort of take that with, or sort of temper that with, a program, a financial program for the European Union and the U.S. to still keep legal sanctions in place, but use a system to circumvent that. That was the nuclear agreement. I think it happened in 2015 or 2016. And then, so of course, Trump inherited that and then decided, with the help of Michael Bolton,
Ugh.
all of those fuckers from the
Oh,
George Bush
I've
administration.
trolled a. That was one of my post blocks, was trolling a Michael Bolton group because
That's so good.
I said he won a Nobel Prize for translating with using a Turing machine to determine that the G in Kenny G stands for geniophobia. Yet Bob Dylan won. Yet Bob Dylan wins the Nobel Prize. Rude. And then a person commented bullshit, and I replied, yeah, those fucking Swedes. And that was hate speech against Swedish people.
Oh,
thanks for
Zuckerberg
clarifying.
doesn't want them to know the truth.
Oh God. Yeah. Huh.
So the Biden administration has recently done some bullshit, and Strategic Culture Foundation has covered this. The Biden administration started to tighten sanctions on China's oil business with Iran, and I'm reading here. Who wrote this? One of the U.S. diplomats from the State Department writes, Deputy Secretary of State Wendy Sherman was expected to discuss the prospect of tightening U.S. sanctions on Chinese entities importing Iranian oil when she met with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi and other officials in Tianjin, China on Monday, July 26th, should agreement on a return to the nuclear pact not be able to be reached. We have been hoping, quote, we could lift sanctions, unquote, on Iran's energy and banking sectors, including on Chinese entities purchasing Iranian oil. If the U.S. and Iran could agree on a mutual return to the nuclear deal, the U.S. diplomat said, but if there was no return to the JCPOA, and if we are settling in for a long period of no return to the JCPOA, we will first look at our sanctions enforcement policy, he said. So to explain what's going on here in a simple word,
For me or the audience? Wait, do you think I'm
both.
dumb?
No,
No,
of course.
no.
You're
Thank you.
not
For me,
dumb.
actually.
This is
No,
mostly for
Just
Ian.
putting it
and
into little
Alex.
bite-sized pieces for me, very infantilizing. Jesus. No, Jesus.
No, we
Well, I'm an infant, so thanks.
Yeah, he's the
a
dynamic
baby.
here is that he's
no,
a
no.
dumbass.
Well, I'm a baby.
Yeah, that's
I'm a
our
baby too.
shtick. That's totally not
No.
what's really happening here.
He really is a dumbass though. It's fine.
I'm
We love him all the
pretty
same.
dumb.
No, you're
I
smart
like-
as fuck. Don't say that.
Oh,
Hey, I'm just gassing you up. That's what's up.
That's negating my anxiety about being interviewed. It's just 15 minutes of me being gassed up. Wow, they should do this at job interviews. Then
They should. If you
just
give
tell
somebody
me how great I am, and I'd actually fuck up much less often. Wow.
Yeah, it's true.
So
But they always
I've got so many solutions to all the world's problems. If only people would listen, you know.
So you're about to boil it
I
down
feel
if
that
we're
way.
stupid?
But
Yeah, so
no.
the former British diplomat Alastair Cook responds in our subject of, and let's revisit this. Strategic Culture Foundation is the classic purveyor of the whole Russiagate thing, right? They were like a node in the propaganda network. So, of course, they would feature this position by British diplomat Alastair Cook. The recent accounting of obstacles on the negotiation track listed by Iran's benzoyl peroxide host. Jesus Christ, let me start over. Listed by Iran's envoy to the IAFA, indeed seems a daunting catalog of movable U.S. and EU goalpost.
I'm sorry to sound like such an idiot, but like, why
I think
specifically is Iran in the news this week?
Emphasis mine here. Continuing on, a full post-mortem of errors leading to this point await the future. But for now, the U.S. officials insist that it is Iran that misreads its situation. But equally, it may be argued that the U.S. has misread how much strategic situation in the region and indeed the world has changed. Basically the campaign of
wow, the
maximum
U.S.
pressure.
misreading something. Wow, that's
I know, right? Shocking.
Wow, great. That's so shocking. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
but
we're awesome. We're heroes. We're saving the
but
world,
we
man.
obviously can't fucking tell when we're failing. I mean, the Vietnam War was an example of that, but
understatement.
Iran.
That's another
Yeah,
that's
a
an
fucking
understatement, man.
But Iran has essentially pursued business with China, with Russia, with Venezuela, and has been trolling the U.S. for the past few months. And essentially, every time the U.S. steps wrong, Iran takes that chance to assert itself. And Iran's main, hero of the in the Quds Force, Soleimani got assassinated. That was the only time they've lost then during this entire regime of Trump, and now with Biden. Fucking Iran will not lose on this fucking thing because they just every step along the way, even with their new president being elected, this is my opinion, not the cultural strategic foundation. I think that Iran is way ahead of the U.S. and they're going to fucking win this stupid petty battle.
Please, God. Somebody but us.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
I wouldn't say I'm not losing sleep over a nuclear war happening, but I'm not losing sleep over anyone that isn't the United States starting it.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think that we have to sort of step back and take my opinion out of it, take the strategic cultural foundation's opinion out of it. Just on an objective level.
I do have a lot of blind spots with world politics, admittedly, but...
Yeah, it's easy to. It's easy to see the people you want to see win. But if we objectively understand it, which is why I think the Strategic Cultural Foundation sometimes gets it right, is that all of their articles on Iran and what Iran's actually doing, I think they're going to end up being right because we've seen Iran triumph over the United States so many times. So the takeaway, in my opinion, is you can't really trust the Strategic Cultural Foundation to tell you good or tell you right about Russia. You can trust them to tell you right about international politics, specifically Iran. Because that's what their mission is. That's what their goal is to essentially analyze geopolitics. And the theme, I think, here is that, and I'm going to leave it on this, is that a lot of these weird sort of fellow traveler alt media sites and journals tend towards conservatism and fascism, but they can be trusted for geopolitical stuff. You can hang your hat on that they'll be honest with you because they're opposing the U.S. Because opposing the U.S. in geopolitical news coverage is a method and not a weird, position. It's not a hobby. It's a method. And we see this shown or demonstrated by this particular news source that when you oppose the U.S. and you do the research to justify why you oppose the U.S., you're going to be right most times. So, yeah, there's that.
All right, so we're going to move on to the final segment of the evening. and we're going to talk about the topic of the week.
Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo. That's right.
I
Go ahead.
Yeah, nothing. Oh, I don't know. I was like, I was just improvising in that Nine Inch Nails group. I don't know. I was just thinking, like, I was just trying to think of a goofy, like, well, again, I've been using rhymezone.com since I was 16, so I just sort of think in rhymes. I was just trying to think. I was doing like a parody of one of Trent Reznor's lyrics, so I was trying to think. I don't want to fuck you like an animal. Like, damn it, what rhymes with animal? I was
Danimals.
Oh, Danimals is like the only thing that rhymes with animal. So Danimal, I want to fuck you like Danimals. What Danimals?
I want
Monkey.
to fuck you
There's the
with
yogurt
a
monkey.
Danimal.
There's the yogurt. They have the monkey. So that's all. I was like, there's
Right.
the monkey on the Danimals. That comes from my experience working at a grocery store. In the dairy section, I see the charming little yogurt monkey, the Danimals yogurt monkey every day. So
The charming little yogurt monkey.
I get a charming little yogurt monkey that Trent Reznor has a sexual relationship with. There's a side to the yogurt monkey that most people who buy Danimals yogurt don't know about. You know, so there's a
That's good. That's good.
seedy underbelly of. It's like I don't know. It's like God damn it! I haven't watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit since I was a kid, so I don't
That's
know
so
if it's
good.
like that. It's like there's a little cartoon world where they're all doing seedy things, but for some reason Trent Reznor's also there.
It's
so good.
The Danimals monkey.
Yeah. Explain the polycule real quick.
God, I
It's expansive. There's a canon to it.
Okay, all right.
Oh.
We don't. Let's not. Hang on. Okay, so what's up? What's up with Scooby Doo?
Yeah.
I don't-
So
Why are we talking about him?
Scooby Doo is very he's very he's Scooby Doo's me. Scooby Doo is my trans woman. I'm trans. I'm pretty. He's like my alter ego. Well, she. That's what
She.
that's my spoiler. They're actually gonna come out. That's what I wanted to do. They're trans. They're
Scooby-Doo
gonna
comes out.
transition. They're gonna transition. Yeah, into a woman. That's gonna happen. At
And the
some
woman
point.
is
But-
you.
But sure. I don't know. Maybe not. I'm really in a gender fluid, confused state, so I don't think so. But I don't know.
yeah, and that's the
I don't
fun
know,
of it.
but no, Scooby Doo. Yeah, Elmer Fudd is also me. No, I mean I don't really have Trent Reznor say anything. I just let the cartoon characters talk. I mean, I like having Elmer Fudd be the Bugs Bunny. You know.
What do you mean by that?
Well, like
Like
the
It's not rabbit
Mara-
season.
I
It's not
just
duck
did
season.
that.
It's Elmer Fudd season. You know.
he's sort of a sassy, like learned Elmer Fudd.
Right. Elmer Fudd is a bottom.
Gay, sassy, learned Elmer Fudd. Oh, is he?
We know this. I that's what I believe. That's what I think.
No, he's kind of he's a top.
You think Elmer Fudd
I
is
think
top?
he's a top.
It's your
Well,
canon.
my Elmer Fudd, yes, he's a top.
Classic.
Certainly. Yeah.
So let's talk
No.
about Scooby-Doo and the
the
politics
politics
thereof. Oh my god, you can't
Politics.
say therein.
They're in.
I said thereof.
Well, fuck yourself. Anyway.
I will be doing that later. Not on mic, though.
Yeah, he hates it when you
Scooby-Doo.
did that on him.
Yeah. I literally know nothing about Hanna-Barbera cartoons or anything. I'm like not even I have no attachment whatsoever to Scooby-Doo. I looked up a YouTube video on the internet, YouTube, how to
As
how to
opposed
talk
to
like
YouTube off
Scooby,
the
how to
internet.
talk like Scooby-Doo.
Did you?
So I just
That's
watched
so good.
that for like, I don't know, 10 minutes. And I mean, it's pretty easy to figure out, you know. Well, what the thing I didn't know is I thought all of the syllables were R's at first. So some of them you'll notice that. The earlier ones you'll notice that. I thought
Yeah.
I thought he said every syllable was an R. Now it turns out, yeah, it's just the words begin with R's, but not all of them. Some of you have to alternate, like every
Right.
now and then you just take out one that, yeah.
And that's there's politics to that too, right? Scooby-Doo
Well,
having
linguistics.
language. Yeah, linguistics are political in my mind.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so in a time period of about 2009 to 2012,
Yeah.
and
Oh
also
God.
a
That was
period of time from 2017 to 2020.
yeah.
People were very concerned about the politics of Scooby Doo. I don't know what was in the water,
I
Well, it's
like
or
because
know
Scooby
nothing.
Doo's.
Oh God, I like literally know. I'm like I know nothing about this.
It's because their
I
cast is
just
like all hippies, or like
I did.
there's a few
Oh
hippies in the cast.
oh,
right,
it's okay. Well, I mean, what kind of hippies we talking about? Like,
Stoners.
oh no. But I mean, like, what kind of politics? Like,
Oh.
how?
right,
Where do
right.
they?
That's good. That's a good question.
I mean, I don't know.
Scooby Doo
That's like yeah. Could mean anything, you
apparently
know.
apparently
Like that could be like definitely yeah. That could be like conspiracy theorists, like white people with dreadlock kinds of, you know.
yeah,
But I don't know.
wooks.
That could
We
be any
call them
kind
wooks
of yeah.
here.
Wooks. Yeah. I didn't want to. Yeah. Wooks. Yeah. That's
There's
what
there's
kind of hippies?
a recent
You know, boomers that became conservatives later. You know, lots of, it feels like, yeah. Like I know a lot of ex-hippies that are like, that became like Republicans.
yeah,
So,
that
lots of
happens.
boomers.
Actually, locally
So,
we have a
I don't
guy
know.
who
God, so
owns.
hippie could mean anything. So, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
God, I actually had a neighbor who was a hippie and he'd be like, God, God, it's like, well, it's like was that in the interview where I was talking about how I exploit how boomers think they're, you know, superior to us intellectually or talk down to us? Like, so this
Mhm.
guy who's like telling me about, he's like, you know, there's a band, I don't know if you know about them. They're Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I don't know if you.
Oh my God!
It's like,
Don't get me into this
they're
shit. I
so
literally.
obscure. They're so yeah. Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Yeah.
That's some really like obscure stuff, man.
This
Nobody's
is
ever
this
heard of
is
them.
this is
I mean,
content
oh
for
my God.
this is
Yeah.
content for a future episode, but
Like you didn't even know about the best shit when you were young. You just listened to fucking Crosby, Stills, and Nash. God damn it. Shut
yeah.
up. You.
And the thing about that too is that
Well,
Crosby's
another time I was like shitting on David Bowie. Well, I like some of his music, but I was just saying like he like just the it's a bit like derivative of like a lot of the German bands, and then this like boomer jumped in and he was like, well, you should, well, Low, it introduced it to a new audience. Well, what he said was, blah, 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 blah. God, what did he say? He said, oh, he said, you know, that album Low, if you'd listen to that, it was produced by Brian Eno, who invented ambient music. It's like, okay, there are like two things wrong with that. For one, Brian Eno didn't produce Low. I think he was featured on every track, but he didn't produce it. For one, you dickhead, you patronizing dick. And then the other thing, I don't know what ambient music, like, I don't know what, like he God, I guess
It's like saying he invented white
he
noise.
coined the word. I coined the word, but like, what about like Charles Ives, The Unanswered Question from like 190?
Oh, that's getting deep.
Like that's pretty.
But that's a topic for another future podcast.
That's like
Yeah, no, let's go back to
that's the
Scooby-Doo.
first decade of the 20th century. Yeah, God.
Yeah, because that shit, there's a fucking political component to that too, right? The Laurel Canyon stuff, you know, the what's his name, Max go on or whatever. You know, there's a lot of conspiracy shit with that. But what we're talking about today is that Scooby Doo. The reason that we have Scooby Doo as a fixture, for just all, you know, kids of all ages, is that Scooby Doo was sort of a response to, and there's been like a lot of articles about this kind of thing that get, you know, it was in CNN. I mean, there's an article from out of CNN. Scooby Doo wasn't just another cartoon. It was a reaction to the political turmoil of the time. People ape intellectual about Scooby Doo, and so what I'm trying to fucking right.
I mean, okay. I don't know enough about Scooby Doo. There's a point where like, oh God, like I don't know, like I'm not so pretentious. I don't think like pop culture can't be like a lot of pop culture artifacts can't be like, yeah, you can do that with a lot of them, but like, God, with like, say for example, like the reading like some of the Cahiers du Cinema stuff, the like their articles on like Hollywood filmmakers, like some of that stuff, it's just like, man, they're seeing some things that really
Yeah, they may be
they
not
just
there.
aren't there. No.
Yeah, they're shadow boxing, really. And
What
this
is,
is
what are you talking about? Yeah.
exactly, and this is why I want to highlight this
Yeah.
is because they are shadow boxing, right? They're trying to turn a pop culture thing, pop culture phenomenon into a political chance, or at least at the very least, a good story they're going to be paid for, right? So
Uh,
in CNN Entertainment, Kendall Trammell wrote in 2019, and also in Tedium, which is sort of, I guess, I don't know, a fucking making fun of medium, but the idea here is that there's a prevalent idea in the journalistic canon that Scooby Doo was a reaction to Bobby Kennedy's death, right? And the
oh my
rise of
God. Oh
isn't
my
that
God.
crazy? Isn't that fucking
Holy
crazy?
shit. Oh my
Yeah,
God. Well, I'm sure. How?
exactly, right?
Well,
It's
so
fucking weird.
there is one lesson that I personally picked up from Scooby Doo, and I'm sure this is like,
Was I don't.
I bet this has been said before, but like, one of the things that Scooby Doo featured heavily throughout every plot, like every episode, this was like basically the moral, is that most problems in the world can be traced back to greedy old white men.
Oh, sure.
That's true. Yeah.
Like every time
Well,
like, they take off the mask and it's an
yeah.
old white guy who's just like, trying
Oh,
to get,
oh,
immigrants away
okay.
from his
Okay,
theme park
so
or whatever the fuck,
that's where they're going with it. Okay, yeah. So what?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
you think Scooby Doo was trying to communicate this?
Yeah, that's what apparently people who are
Oh,
writing for
holy
CNN and
crap!
Tedium
Oh
were
shit!
trying to say. Kevin
Oh,
Sandler and Kendall Trammell are trying to say is
okay.
that
They're
before
heroes
previous
for the proletariat. They're just taking down all these greedy old men, greedy old white men.
I don't
Or,
think that that's what these articles are trying to say. If I had to
oh,
project my own sort of
oh,
class consciousness onto it, I would say that these
oh.
people are, I mean, the Mystery Machine was essentially cops. They're cops, right?
They're cops.
They're
They're
cops.
cops.
Okay.
That's my
But
take on it.
Interesting.
But,
wait a
see,
minute. I'm
yeah.
lost. They're cops. But wait, I thought the villains were the greedy.
Right.
What?
But
What? But
my belief, or sort of my position, is that Scooby Doo, the Mystery Machine team, were an extension of cops, and I've run tabletop
yeah,
games where
that's kind of that's how most of these superhero comics are. But I mean,
exactly that's
all of them
the
are
whole
cops.
point of
Oh
it.
God! But I'd never thought to apply that to Hanna-Barbera characters. But yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, and
Oh,
it makes sense, but it's also like, let's keep with a
oh
theme
my!
of
I
them
mean,
shadow boxing,
no,
right?
no, 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 no. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Obviously. Yeah, I
Exactly.
mean,
So let's just read a
it's still.
quote
I don't know.
from
I mean, it's
CNN.
not entirely. I don't. I mean, I'm sure. Yeah. I really don't. I mean, I'm pretty sure those. I'm sure that a lot of the animators for Scooby Doo had some pretty reactionary, like bad opinions,
Right,
But
right. So this is a
man,
quote from one of
uh,
the executives that greenlighted Scooby-Doo to get on air. He says, quote, "People needed relief from all of the terror and from all of the dystopia and from all of the anger. And
so
Scooby-Doo is groovy," said Sandler,
wow.
who is working on an upcoming book about the show. "Kids get scared, they watch. They think life is good and that monsters aren't real." This sort
Huh.
of was the in the zeitgeist, I guess, is the idea was that all of this violence that was coming from Hanna-Barbera's earlier works were superheroes fighting an
God.
obvious enemy, right? But
Oh.
Scooby Doo was cartoon violence, and what a lot of these people who are writing these articles in CNN and TDM, what they're trying to essentially say is that all of this fantasy violence sort of obfuscates the idea that people are bad and people can do bad things, and once both JFK died and Bobby Kennedy mysteriously died.
This is some real, like, reaching here. What? I don't even...
Right, but this is not my opinion. This is...
Oh, no. I'm not saying it is, but wow.
Yeah, exactly. This is why it's ridiculous.
Just watching Scooby-Doo and, like, injecting this into... Just so you can inject all of this into...
Right.
Wow.
Right. So let me read you a selection.
How much time does that person have on their hands? Like
exactly.
Right.
So let me read you a selection from the TDM article. Subheading goes, "Political upheaval spurs moral panic. Cultural anxieties about the effects of media violence on children had increasingly been significant after March 6, 1968, concurrent with television coverage of the Vietnam War. Student protests and riots incited by the assassination of MLK Jr. As historian Charles Kaiser wrote in his book about that pivotal year, the upheaval fueled moral crusades." Now let's read the subtext real quick. Moral crusades. Does that mean racism? Are people just being racist? For the first time since their invention, he wrote, televised pictures made the possibility of anarchy in America feel real. Now, let's talk about this.
How does Scooby-Doo equate to anarchy?
What?
Good fucking question. It doesn't. It fucking doesn't.
Okay, yeah, what about, like, Tex Avery or Bob Clampett? I don't know. I mean,
Right.
By the way, so what do Scooby-Doo and JFK have to do with each other?
I think I was older.
Right.
Oh.
So let's move on to that. For the first time since their invention, our friend up here, Charles Kaiser, writes, televised pictures made the possibility of anarchy in America feel real. So we're revisiting this quote, which is ridiculous,
television?
But it was the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy in June 1968 that would exile action and adventure cartoons from the Saturday morning lineup for nearly a decade. Kennedy's role as a father to 11 was intertwined with his political identity. He had long championed causes that helped children. Along his commitment to ending child... Well, that was a fucking typo. How did this get into tdm.co? Well, because it's not a very good source of news. So let's read that again. Along his side, his commitment to ending child hunger and poverty, he had, as Attorney General, worked with the Federal Communications Commission to improve the, quote, vast wasteland of children's television programming. So what
he just didn't like cartoons.
Yeah, what that means essentially...
RFK didn't like cartoons? Who didn't
apparently fucking not. But what that means is, the vast wasteland was essentially... And this sort of goes into the idea that maybe
I don't like politicians, so...
Me fucking either.
Well, no. But that's great you don't like cartoons.
I like cartoons, but I don't like
things
politicians.
You don't like things that bring people joy. Wow, how shocking! Wow.
Yeah. Well, and this is sort of mirroring the idea that for example, like GTA, like people that play GTA are gonna, like, I don't know, murder people or like steal cars or whatever, because just hours after Kennedy was shot, President Lyndon B. Johnson announced the appointment of a National Commission on the Causes and Prevention of Violence. Why the commission's formal findings wouldn't be shared
It took a
later.
president getting assassinated for them to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that fucking
Fuck
ridiculous?
everyone else, fuck every other victim of violence, but the president gets shot.
Yeah. Now we have to start
Now we gotta-
censoring cartoons.
That's some tone deaf shit, and I'm sure it has absolutely nothing to do with the reason why he got shot. He didn't get shot because the world is a more violent place than ever. He got, I'm sure he got shot for some like poignant political reason.
Oh.
Yeah, just like how Abraham
God.
Lincoln got shot. Dummy.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is a this is a fucking conversation for another fucking day because clearly you don't think the assassination of a president is legitimate.
What?
What?
I said.
What?
Huh?
What?
I'm just
That's
not
putting
what I said.
I'm putting words in your mouth
You
for
sure
fun,
are.
bro.
Me? I
No,
don't.
me.
No, of course. No, it's Ian.
I just
Over
don't.
here.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't there. It's like, God, it's so confusing. I wish I.
I mean, I was
wish
there, and I'm pretty sure that guy had a good reason.
Yeah.
It sounds like you might have shot the president.
Look, it wasn't me. I was there though, so let's just leave it at
God, what? I mean, when my friend and I left off, when our discussion was it, and maybe it was the mafia. I don't know. We couldn't figure it out. Like, we couldn't figure out who had the
the
like,
motive.
God. I mean, the guy was in a convertible, so I mean, like, for one, that's just kind of dumb. But
Sus. As
I
a
mean, no,
president,
it's just stupid. Like, why are
Even
you
the
in
Pope has a
why are you in a
Pope-mobile with a dome
convertible?
on it.
When did they start doing that though? The Pope-mobile with the
the Pope-mobile.
bulletproof glass. When did they start doing the bulletproof glass with the Pope-mobile? I mean, is that
that was the 90s.
Kennedy?
Yeah, that was the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah, just in a convertible. That's reckless. But like, God, that would have still taken. Like, I don't know if the CIA did it, but it seems like some amount of like premeditation and like insider knowledge was involved somehow. I don't know. I'm kind of a naive person, so I don't know. Maybe like how much planning and premeditation would need to be involved in that. God.
So
yeah,
let's continue on with this article here. Media studies scholar Heather Hendershot. We're focusing on the shot part. Interesting. Explained that those critical of Kennedy's liberal causes supported these efforts, censoring television violence in the name of the good of children. And it was like a tribute. I know, isn't that weird?
Sure. I mean, I'm not entirely opposed to that, you know.
So let's wrap this shit up. Apparently, according to CNN and TDM, which I think this is fucking, again, just another pathological case of being way too intellectual about pop culture shit. Because really...
Sure, no, I mean, I would say, like, I would say some of the greatest artists of the 20th century have worked within pop culture, so it's like I'm not even opposed to that. Like, you know, I could
right,
I
but
could
the
go
idea,
off, you know, Jack Kirby, you know,
sure, but,
Brian Wilson, you know, pop music, but
right,
yeah,
but that's on
fucking
music
Scooby Doo,
terms, right? But these people aren't intellectualizing. They're not analyzing. They're just being influenced by it, right? So people who fucking try to intellectualize this
Scooby
shit.
Doo. God, well,
yeah, that's a bad fucking news, man. That's bad news. But
well, I think most of the animators that were working on that show, like, were just doing it for money. Well, that's I mean, that's what most of them are doing. So a lot of them are doing, even the
right.
Greatest.
But
I mean, let's be honest. But you know, I mean, I think like even when people aren't being like self-consciously like thinking like, oh, this will be the greatest masterpiece of the 20th century, when they're making something, it can still produce interesting work, you know.
By the way, you guys keep using the term animators, but I'm pretty sure you mean writers, because the writers are the ones that...
Writers and animators, yeah,
that
both.
direct the content.
I mean,
like...
Yeah, but, I don't think, but still, even with that in mind, like even, I mean, even if they're not, like, even if like it can still have like artistic merit when the artists themselves aren't being like self-conscious about like producing like some great masterwork. Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
But let's just wrap this up by talking about the fact that the writers of Scooby Doo were fine with incest.
They were fine with incest?
Yeah, because Scooby Dee and Scooby Dum are related to each other and
I really
had
don't
a
know.
Scooby child.
They had a kid?
I would have.
That was Scrappy Doo?
No, that's not Scrappy.
No.
No, I want to talk about this. I'm sorry. Are you assuming that the product of incest was Scrappy Doo?
Well,
that's Scrappy Doo prejudice.
It's just the only small Doo dog that I know of in the show.
How about you do shut the fuck up? How about you stop talking?
Wait,
what the fuck?
Scrappy Doo is a puppy? Well, that's
you mentioned that they had a puppy. There's only one puppy in Scooby Doo, and it's Scrappy Doo.
Yeah. Well, this kind of reminds me of how like I literally didn't realize until maybe I was in my early 20s that a pony is not a baby horse.
No, it's just a smaller horse.
Yeah, Scrappy Doo is his own thing.
Wow.
No, wait, he's not a puppy? He's a puppy. He says puppy power.
No, it's a call. It's
like he's taking it back.
No,
making it his own word.
What do you call it? It's a symbol. It's
an
alchemist draw because symbols have power, words have power. He says puppy. He's drawing up the youthful energy
of the
being
fact that
puppy.
He is a puppy.
Well, how do you think he stays young and is able to fight?
Because it's a cartoon.
Wait. Yeah, I saw that. One of my
agree to disagree.
Doing this discussion, I don't know. I really am pretty ambivalent about Scrappy Doo. I don't understand all the hate. Well,
I don't understand all the hate either.
I'm not hating
why
at all.
I mean, why not just about everything else Hanna-Barbera produced is what I mean, if you're gonna, why specifically just Scrappy Doo? Why not? Like, why? Why single him out as opposed to just all the?
I didn't single him out at all. I just thought.
No. I'm talking about I'm talking about Scooby Doo people. Like, that's the one thing about Scooby Doo. The one thing that they object to is Scrappy Doo. It's like
he's not annoying.
You have no problem with anything else about Scooby Doo, just Scrappy Doo. It's like
exactly,
wow.
Exactly.
What? How about the fact that like it's the same thing every episode? I mean, I think I enjoyed it when I was like 6 because when I was 2, like I didn't have.
Now I feel attacked.
Yeah, Chad enjoyed it this morning.
I mean, God, I remember Scooby Doo, a pup named Scooby Doo. I remember that one.
Good show. Anybody who doesn't like that show, I'm sorry.
Is that any better? I can't remember. I haven't watched that since I was like 6 either.
A pup named Scooby Doo was so good.
I mean the production the production values or whatever would have I imagine would have improved by that point at least.
Well, that was during the period where all of the cartoons were sort of
babies,
themselves.
The baby,
babies,
the baby cartoons,
like Baby Looney Tunes.
And I just remember all of the theme songs, even though I haven't watched any of these cartoons since I was 6. Because Tom, well, I just remember like the choruses. I don't remember anything else. Like Tom and Jerry Kids.
Tom and Jerry Kids. Yes.
I haven't seen that in maybe 24 years, and I just remember the chorus to that theme song. It's just because it was every day I watched that show. Tom and Jerry Kids. Well, I don't remember any of the other lyrics. It's just ba 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 ba. Yeah, I don't. But I just. I just remember all the choruses.
Let's put an end cap on this.
Yeah, I think that's all the time we have for today. So Alex, this is the portion of the show where we would normally plug our social media presences. How can we find you on Facebook?
Muppet Babies. Ida Risperdal. Oh God,
Ida Risperdal.
Ida Risperdal. That's how I found Alex.
They're like the antipsychotic Risperdal.
Yeah,
of course.
That's a tribute to my former self.
You can also find us on Twitter at ThisCoursePod. You can email us at thiscoursepodcast@gmail.com. We should get a Facebook page. That should be a thing.
Can we read something from the mailbag?
We have a mailbag entry?
Yeah, we have a mailbag entry.
Oh, sure. We're going to read something from the mailbag today.
Wait, I have mail?
I didn't know we had a mailbag.
No,
I
yeah,
have
we
mail.
got mailbag. Yeah, we got
All right.
mailbag.
Cool. Let's go.
All right, so
Okay.
this is hold on, let me pull it up. This comes from Sleepless in Seattle. That's not funny. Yeah, Sleepless in Seattle writes to us hey, I have a question. Do my friends suck or do I suck? So recently I
don't know this person. I know well enough to judge. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the story here. The person that's writing in is asking, hey, my birthday party was today, and I did not send any invites out, and nobody came to my birthday party. Are my friends shitty or am I shitty?
I wouldn't say you're shitty. I would say you're bad at organizing.
That's not a reflection on your character. Well, hey, when I was in God, was it first grade? I put all these invitations for everyone in the class in the cubbies to my first birthday, and the bully tore them all up, and only one person came, and it was so horrible. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was traumatic. I don't remember. It was like my mom was upset. Yeah, only like one kid came. Yeah. At this place
Sorry
called
for laughing
Planet
at that.
Play. Yeah, God, no, please do. It's
All right, so we have another email that's coming in. The writer is asking, I'm just going to read it straight to you. Hey, this course pod. I don't know if you guys have experience with rotten watermelons, but today I had a watermelon that I bought 3 months ago that I left in my fridge, and it hasn't exploded yet, but it smells pretty foul. I cut it open, and it doesn't smell
God.
as bad as it did when it was in the fridge.
Oh.
I cut off a slice, and I ate it, and it tastes fine. Do you think I should eat it, or do you think that I should throw it away?
3 months.
I think you should make it into
Watermelon?
a sculpture.
Yeah, I don't know.
Make
I
it
mean,
into a piece of art and preserve it.
If you want, I don't know.
I would do that too.
You've
I
already
think I would do that too.
imprinted so much mental energy into it.
How does it?
Like you've been sitting there stewing about it in the fridge for a week. Like you've been sitting there
Watermelon,
contemplating whether or not you should eat it. You even tried it. Like
How
definitely,
does that even happen? How?
You have a connection
How do
with
you
this
leave
piece
it in
of
your
food.
How do you leave it in your refrigerator?
You should express the connection.
I mean, if it's
Yeah.
like if it's like I don't know, if it's like maybe like a yogurt or something, you know, like I don't.
Yeah, yogurt
if it's
never
something-
goes bad.
If it's something tiny, I could
that
see how
true?
that could be overlooked and that could get spoiled. But leaving a watermelon in there
Right.
for 3 months and just letting it fester, like, how often do you check your refrigerator?
Yeah, I know
or
exactly. That's
faster
a good
than-
fucking point.
Oh, I mean,
That's a
like,
good point.
How are you gonna fucking miss a watermelon? They were just like staring at it for a month, like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
feeling too lazy to cut it or something.
yeah, that's well, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I think
that's,
we've got the answer. Throw it away. Don't
Yeah.
eat it.
That is not my answer.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I can't. Maybe eat. I don't know enough. I've never. I wouldn't
How old did
eat
they say it was?
but
3 months.
3 months.
Jesus.
That's a bit iffy for fruit. Yeah. Well, a bit, if not a bit. That's like no. Yeah. Probably not
I
a good
would eat
idea
it.
for fruit.
But
you know.
sculpting is fine, according to Ian.
Yeah.
I mean,
You can
wait.
find a way to like
I don't know
get
why
it to
my
the shape you want
yeah.
and then like preserve it and solidify it, or just get it to the shape you want and just like let it rot.
Or just
Huh.
have clay.
Like carve it and then
just-
just like set it up in your yard and just like watch it rot.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good neighbor, you can tell. He's a good neighbor for other people that he just carves fruit, rotten fruit, and puts it in his yard.
You don't
His
do that?
neighbors love him. No, I don't do that because I'm not gross like you are. Jesus.
I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not gross, but I doubt you're not gross.
No, I'm literally immaculate.
Okay.
Well, it's been good having you. I think it would be good. I think the recording's done now, Ian, if you want to hit the end button.
Yeah.
So
we didn't really do like an outro.
do you want to do that?
Just like the words, like, thanks for watching, everybody.
Hey, yeah. Thanks for listening. It's been good having you, Alex, Ida Risperdal.
97.1 Wash FM.
That is
I don't know.
probably where you can find us. Who knows?
No, actually, I think they are like really right wing. I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh God.
Oh God.
I would love to be associated
But
with
that's
that.
just one of the. That's no. I asked. So, but I don't know. 97.1 Wash FM.